Hello, and welcome to the Parenting Roundabout podcast for the week of April 8th. I'm Terry Morrow, and I'm here with Catherine Haleko.
Hello.
For a weekly episode to talk about parenting in a roundabout way, along with a little pop culture. So we've talked on this podcast many times over the past years about youth sports and how much of a job that becomes for the parent. Following around, watching things, buying things, talking kids into doing things, talking them into doing the things that they said they wanted to do, and then they decided they didn't, but you should keep going. And we assumed that there would be a finish line to that, and that at some point we would no longer have to go and sit on bleachers or uncomfortable seats and watch our progeny perform feats of athletic brilliance, mediocrity, whatever. But as it turns out, young adults have sports too, and we're still going to watch them.
That's right.
What is your schedule for the next couple of weeks, Kat?
Well, I will be going to the end of the season, end of the year banquet for my daughter's team. It's actually a brunch banquet.
Wow.
So that's kind of fun.
That's nice.
It's an end of season thing, but surprise, there's another competition the very next week. So
it never ends.
Yes. I mean, and really, you know, after we went to Vegas and the competition there, it was like, this is it. This is the end.
Woo!
Knowing that there was one more little competition left, but it, you know, that was it. And, but then at that one, oh, guess what? They qualified to go to the next one. So, which is awesome.
Yes.
And,
yay.
you know,
Hooray.
we're very excited. We're very proud, but also we are going to Lake Placid, New York, which is not easy to get to.
No.
So anyway, we're doing that.
Yes. Well,
and then we're done.
It's a sunny time of year where you are, so you don't have to worry about planes and driving and stuff, right?
Right, nice. Right. It's only been snowing every day of the past 4 days. So.
It's trying to get you into that ice skating mood.
Right, exactly. And I feel like I have this problem every year with this skating banquet because it's in the spring, you know, allegedly. And then I'm like, well, do I wear like a springy floral outfit, and then it's like 40 degrees, or it's pouring rain, or it's snowing, and like what kind of footwear do you wear? With like you gotta wear your rain boots or something, like stress. So, and you are also, your daughter has gotten into Special Olympics where she hadn't done it much before, right?
Right, but my son has been doing it right along. So now they are both participating in a bowling tournament, the New Jersey State Team Bowling Tournament, which is a little ways down the state from us at a humongous bowling alley with like 100 lanes and extremely expensive snacks. So a lot of these bowling alleys, I don't know, how is bowling in Wisconsin? Is bowling still healthy? Bowling is ailing here in the Northeast.
Good question. I'm not a big bowler. Yeah. I mean, we do have a couple of bowling alleys.
We used to have like 3 bowling alleys in our town, and now they have all closed. And it seems like the bowling alleys that are staying are remaking themselves to be attractive to the youths. And so there's, you know, trendy snacks and cool things, and you're supposed to go there with your young friends and spend the evening bowling and eating $20 French fries.
Right.
And it's just not the same, you know, like back when it smelled like cigarette smoke and the French fries were $1.
Right.
So this place that they go is very trendy. It's so funny. This is a Special Olympics, so this is like a bunch of families going to this thing.
Right.
And they say on the instructions going out, no outside food can come in. Everybody brings outside food.
Right.
You're not going to spend $50 on snacks to watch your kid participate in Special Olympics bowling.
Yeah.
We are a hardy bunch, we special needs parents. You know, we come with stuff. So one year I was good and I didn't, and I had my $5 cup of coffee, and the following year I just brought my own, and nobody has said anything. But anyway, so we will be watching my son and his team and my daughter and her team as they compete. Hope they do well.
Yeah.
And it's fun sitting around with people you know and chatting. Our friends are coming along too. And it's more of a social thing than a sporting thing at some point. And maybe score a, Special Olympics t-shirt or something. They always have stuff. But I hope they do well. This is my daughter's first time. She did the singles tournament earlier and did not qualify for the States for that. But the team, there's no qualifiers. Anybody who wants to participate in the team bowling can participate in the team bowling. So I just hope both of my kids, do well enough that they cannot be the person pointed to say, this is why our team lost.
Yeah, always.
I don't care whether the team wins or not. I just want my kids not to be the GOAT. So, because they have teammates who will point that out.
Oh, no.
It was you.
Right.
So I just don't want to go there.
Yeah.
Let them point to somebody else, please.
Exactly.
Because they got a point. So anyway, good luck to your daughter and her team.
Thank you.
In a really much more significant competition. But
yeah, there's a possibility that a former Olympian will be there and will be competing in one of the same events.
Oh, nice.
So we'll see about that. I mean, that'll be exciting.
Yeah, that'll be exciting.
My daughter has taken it in stride. I think she's just like, wow, cool. Okay.
It's an honor to be beaten by somebody who was in the Olympics.
Yeah, I think that's how she's looking at it. So, well, we can move on to Reservation Dogs, but
do we have to?
The first one was tough. It was brutal, actually.
Oh, I thought, dear lady, well, this will be fun. She's like gleefully killing dudes all the time. That's what's going to go on here. She's going to presumably meet Bear, and but
she did meet Bear. She did meet Bear, and she
was sweet with him, as we would have hoped.
Right.
Did not offer to go kill his dad, but still, he better keep out of her way.
Yeah. But basically, we got the origin story of how Dear Lady came to be. And there was a warning at the beginning of the show. I don't know if you saw it, but it said,
I did see it, and I thought, this isn't going to be a fun episode.
Yeah. It said, this will depict Indian boarding schools and, it may be I don't remember how it phrased it, but basically, watch out. And it was brutal. It was.
Yeah, it was an accurate warning.
Yeah. I mean, because, I've read about these schools. I knew the basic idea, but just to see it depicted.
It was awful.
It was awful. And, they had whenever the nuns and the other people who were working there were speaking English, they would garble it so that because the kids can't understand it because they don't speak English.
Yes. And the caption said speaking gibberish.
Right. But then sometimes they would speak English or they would translate it. But it was it was hard to watch, but obviously important. And then it did give us the how the Dear Lady became the Dear Lady.
Right. I wish that, what do we call that? The demon deer had not been quite so cheesy looking.
With the little laser eyes they gave it. Yeah.
But okay, I'll go with it.
Right.
That was rough. That was the majority of the episode, was her flashbacks as she's driving along in her car with her coat and her instruments of death.
Right.
And meets up with Bear at a diner where she treats him to pie.
Right.
She enjoys pie, apparently, because she ordered 2 whole pies.
Yes. And of course, when Bear figures out who she is, he's terrified.
Well, she deliberately drops her thing on the floor so that he'll get down and see
her feet. Right.
Yes. So, and yet now nobody will believe him. But Big would believe him if he ever chats with him, because he's met her.
Yeah.
That was entertaining to see him sort of grasp that and be so freaked out.
Right.
And she's just sort of enjoying it. A bright spot in a otherwise really sad and tragic episode.
Right.
And, she finally, at the end, does dispatch somebody from that time. Why she wouldn't have gotten to him earlier, I don't know. But just because she's having memories, she decides to go look him up for old time's sake.
Right.
But doesn't feel like there's a lot of satisfaction in it.
No, because she's clearly terrified of him.
Yes.
Even though he's just this little old man. But, you're left wondering, is she actually going to do it? And she does.
Quite graphically.
In a bloody way. Yes. While Bear is out in the car.
Listening to the radio.
I like how when they first got there, she said, "You don't have to come in," which if I were Bear, I would be like, "Well, do you want me to come in?" Like it's she didn't say, "Wait here." She said, "You don't have to come in." Which, let's not.
Fine with me. You got a charger? I'll just stay here.
Right. I'm good. I'm good staying here.
It's clear nothing good is going to happen in that house.
No way.
Later on, he says, "I think I'm an accessory to a murder."
Right. Never mind, that guy deserved it, but...
Yeah. Well, as difficult and tragic and kind of necessary as that episode was, the second one was just a hoot.
Yes, the second one was called Friday, and it was...
in which the young people get their comeuppance.
They get their punishment for running away, and I love that Jackie was involved as well. And she's like, "I did not go anywhere." And Bev just is like, "Well, you probably thought about it, so..."
Probably cause.
Here's your broom. Get busy.
So do we think that she is right, that there is something brewing between Bear and Jackie, and that she and Rita will soon be trading off watching the baby?
I don't know. Because Jackie wasn't having any of what Bear was trying to tell her about right. Dear Lady. She was just like, "You're lying."
But, in a conceivably flirty way.
Yes. Yeah, so the whole episode is set at the IHS clinic, and we get the whole crowd, right, basically. I mean, There was no, like, Uncle Brownie, but there were quite a lot of other of our faves who were there.
Get to know Willie Jack's really fairly adorable father.
Yes.
In his kingdom of cleaning. Trying so hard to pass it down to Laura.
It's like, not sure. This is my jam, but okay.
Free chips. You got to think about the free chips, babe.
Right. Yeah, she says, "I'm trying to quit," and that cut to the next scene, her eating from the bag.
Right.
Flamin' Flamers.
Yes. Meanwhile, Willie Jack is looking to take on the mantle of the real medicine man.
Fixico. Cheese gets glasses. Now he can see.
Yes, all of those of us with glasses can relate to the miraculous moment when you put them on and go, "Oh.
Who knew?
This is what the world looks like." I had no idea.
Quite a surprise.
Happened to me in 4th grade. Cheese came along a little later, but still.
Yes. Yeah, I think it would have been funny too. Like, he goes to the optometry area, and the woman who's working there is like trying to film a TikTok, so she gets him to film it, and then she's like, "Okay, that's great." Like, she should have been like, "Wait, this is terrible because he can't see," right? The whole point.
I guess if you just have to hold the phone,
hold the camera
in the general direction of a shape that's moving,
right?
You could probably manage that.
She did okay.
As long as they didn't have to read anything from a distance.
Right.
Or see painting on a wall.
Yeah. That was a thankless job, having to scrub graffiti off a wall that was like, it was stuck on there real good.
It really was. I don't think you're going to be able to wash that off.
No. I think they should have just painted over it.
That's right. That would have made much more sense. But been less miserable, so.
So, what else? Laura wants to go to school, she says.
Oh, yes. But she says that, I think, just to get her birth certificate. Or is she doing it legit to go to school and then she just happens to notice?
Yeah, good question. I mean, I thought she had some interest in going to school, but maybe you're right. Maybe she just was... Because, I mean, they gave them to her without any...
Yeah.
She didn't really need a reason.
Yeah, I think Bev sort of looked at her when she asked for the records, and so she maybe felt like she needed a reason. I mean, you shouldn't need a reason. You should be able to get your records anytime you want them, but
right.
To cover up for any questions, it's good to have a reason.
You're right.
You don't want to just say, well, I'm curious, or I'm wondering about these vaccinations I've had. When no.
Or no one's ever told me my father's name.
That's right. Surely Teeny would have told her the name if she'd asked.
Right.
She'd have to go through that. If
given she's friends with him on Facebook,
she could have just pulled him up on her computer and friended him for her. Yeah. Possibly Laura doesn't have Facebook. So I think that's going to be a thing in the upcoming episodes.
Sure. And it was good that they gave them to us in this order. Dear Lady first, yes. And then
we needed after
a
the
little
Dear Lady
relief after that.
Yes, Ooh. For those of us watching 2 episodes, exactly 2 episodes at a time.
Right.
But that I really enjoyed Friday all the more for it being, whoosh,
yeah,
done with that.
Uh-huh.
But still, at the same time, worth having put it out there.
Right. Absolutely.
And interesting backstory for a character who has been sort of a recurring presence.
Yes. And just a way for them for the show to be able to tell that story. That's, so relevant and
right.
Important.
They did make some mention of it, I think, in Maximus's story, too, didn't they?
Yes.
He had been at a boarding school.
I think so, yeah.
Hopefully, the next episode up will be more in the mold of Friday than Dear Lady. But you know what? They got to do what they got to do.
Yes.
So now you got to do what you got to do, which is Catherine's Library Find of the Week.
That's right. Well, this week is a little bit of a cheat that I'm going to give you a book that I didn't find at the library, but is the first book that I checked out from my library with my new library card.
Ooh.
So I finally, after 9 months, I got a library card to the library where I actually work instead of, always going to the one where I live, which I still, I can use both. So this book is called Great Circle. It is by Maggie Shipstead. And I did not realize when I got it out, when I checked it out, and when I chose it for my book club, that it is almost 600 pages. Oops. Because it is this sweeping tale of this woman who is a pilot, and she's born in 1914. Uh-huh. So she ends up in World War II, and this whole thing. It's got so much story to it. There's so much that happens in this woman's life. And it also goes on these fairly long, backstories and side quests about different characters who are not actually that important. The parents of this woman who's the pilot, sort of how they met, there was a lot about even the childhood of the mother, who died when the character was a baby. So it was like, well, how much do we need of this? But anyway, and then there's a whole parallel story that happens in the present day, where an actress is taking on the role of this aviator. So yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot, but it was really good. it's quite an adventure. It's historical, which I usually enjoy. Strong female character, obviously. And I mean, there are some difficult parts as well. It's not all loop-de-loops in your little biplane at all. There's a lot of grim stuff in it as well. But it's fascinating, and it's just one of those books where you just marvel at, like, how do you come up with all of this? Just the plot and the way it's braided together, and all the different characters and all of the people, places, things, that are put together to create this enormous puzzle. It's kind of amazing to think about how that all fits together.
Yeah. A great novel with scope like that is kind of fun to read, even though it's endless.
Yes, it's quite long. But yeah,
I'm just looking it up on Audible. It's 25 hours and 16 minutes.
Yeah, it does go on. Yeah, we had to postpone our book club by a whole month.
But even so, you finished that thing and you felt like you'd done something.
Yeah. And it was very compelling. I was every day trying to, make time to read it. So
does it have short chapters or long chapters?
Pretty long.
Do the chapters have breaks in them?
Yeah, they have breaks.
I need things to mark to pull myself through a book. You know what I mean?
Right, like I'm going to get to
when
here,
the next chapter starts. Yeah, so I need short chapters. I can read a lot if I have short chapters. Or like chapters with little breaks in them or something.
Right.
But if it's just like a 50-page chapter, it's...
See, I don't really notice.
You just fly through it.
Well, I mean...
On your airplane of thought.
I usually am like, okay, I'm going to read until X time or whatever. Like if I'm reading before bed, I'm going to read until this time. And then when I get close to that time, I look for a stopping point. And then usually I'm like, well, a little more. This is
like moving my bookmark to the next little break. And then that's not that far. I can do that.
That's when you know to cut yourself off.
Can't do that on Audible, though, which is a problem.
No.
You lose the sense of a shape of a book on Audible.
Right.
It's just endless talking.
I am listening to The Strange Case of Dr. Cooney that we talked about a few weeks ago. I'm listening to that right now. And it's not long. I think it's like 6-ish hours or something. But it skips around in time absolutely constantly, and it is so hard to follow.
Yeah. I miss being able to flip back and check something.
Yes.
When did they do this? When did this happen? Or like, how many more pages of this is there? When do I get to the next chapter?
Yeah.
Am I going to like this book? I'm just going to check ahead a little bit and see if I like what's going to happen. You shouldn't do that, I know. Don't do that, people. But I totally do.
Yeah, I mean, even if I was reading this on paper, I think it would be bugging me by now because it's that thing where, the chapter starts in such and such a year this was happening, and then it gets to the end of the chapter and it's like, but this would prove to be a terrible mistake or whatever, and then skip to like 10 years later or 5 years earlier or like, well, we never what so
that's annoying.
In general, I do like the book and it is fascinating, but that is really driving me crazy.
Yes.
So anyway, so that is...
So how far are you in this book? Have you finished it?
Great Circle?
Yes.
I have finished it. Yes. Okay. I have finished it so that book club can discuss it.
Has everybody made it to the end?
I don't know, and I doubt it. I doubt they will.
That's tough, because you don't want to say we can only read books we can read in 1 month in this book club. But at the same time, if you can't, you lose your continuity.
Well, yeah.
We need to read a short book and then a long book. so that you can discuss the short book while you're finishing the long book.
Well, we have a unofficial limit of like 300 pages, but I just didn't know that when I picked it. I just didn't check. Oh, no. So,
how many pages is it again?
It's almost 600.
Oh, that is a lot of pages.
Yeah, I know, it's too many pages.
Where was the editor?
Yeah, but and like I said, there are all these sort of side stories, and I'm not sure how much detail was totally needed for them, but it's all part of creating that epic
Could have been a
story.
Series, you know? You didn't have to put it all in one volume. Could have broken it up.
Yeah, I don't know.
Left her in the air somewhere and then said, come back for the next exciting adventure.
Right.
Will she land?
Well, that was a big part of it because,
that's right.
It's all building toward this. She decides she wants to circumnavigate the globe basically on a north-south axis instead of, the warm way around the middle. So, yeah, it's kind of all building to that.
Yeah.
So.
See, that's your volume 2. Keep them coming back for more. This author wasted a huge opportunity.
Well.
Oh, well.
Yes. So, shall we then?
Yes. Speaking of things that are endless.
Things that are endless, travels, journeys. We'll take a spin through the archives and see what we were talking about 5 years ago, 7 years ago, and 8 years ago this week.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
Looking back.
So, 5 years ago, it was say no to naysaying, and we were complaining.
Oh, gee.
This was in our era where we complained every week.
Yes.
I mean,
wait, you're suggesting that we're no longer...
we had a specific designation. We had a designated complaint day every week, and we were complaining about people who doubt our kids' abilities.
Yeah.
But also we were telling on ourselves for being like, for caring too much about what other people think and proving them wrong.
It's interesting that this comes up now because there was just, I don't know if you saw it, a video that was put out by a Down syndrome organization.
Oh, yes.
The young woman from that we saw in, what was that movie we saw with Woody Harrelson?
Oh, Champions?
Yes. Talking about, you believe I can't do it, so you don't give me the chance to do it.
Right.
This is an actress with Down syndrome. And what if you thought I could do it? Maybe I could do it. A very effective little video with the same sort of attitude she brought to Champions, so it was fun. And it really made me think about the experiences I've had with my kids. And I actually, we can link to this. I wrote, and we should link to that video, but also we'll link to this article I wrote that was about this same thing of people saying, our kids don't do that. Our kids can't do that. Algebra, our kids won't do that. What's the functionality of something like that for them? And my feeling that, what if they can? And we never give them the chance.
Right.
We will never know. And how frustrating that is. And, if you say, well, my kid can, it's, well, your kid is high functioning, And so, well, yeah, but still, has weaknesses also, but you can't, you have to try. If you don't try, it just seems so sad.
Yeah.
It's like, what are you? So this, I don't think I'm necessarily ready for some of the things that the actress in the video proposed that she should be able to do. I support her suggesting it.
Yeah.
And I still see it now with adults of my kids' friends and the groups that they're in, and just sort of an assumption that, a lack of agency and an assumption that we need to keep things realistic. I hated that so much when my kids were in school. So many meetings of, your kid's never going to do that. That's never going to happen. There's no point in even trying that.
Right.
So, and now, of course, we have this recurring question of whether my son should drive. And his boss at work seems to be kind of pushing it that he should go take the test and learn. And my son keeps asking me, should I do this? Should I do this? And it's like, personally, I would rather no, because I'm perfectly fine driving you. I enjoy our conversations in the car, and it's an enormous responsibility, which could have serious repercussions. At the same time, he absolutely should have an opportunity to do it. And if he wants to, he should do it. But he's unclear as to whether he wants to or not.
Right.
So, so I don't want to be the naysayer. Really, buddy, I don't think that's for you. Mm-hmm. But it's, people are always balancing safety and being realistic with, to make judgments about what kids can do, what young people with disabilities can do.
Right.
Yeah. I really liked that video.
Yeah.
And it was very sassy.
Yes. It was very sassy.
As it should be.
Right.
I should look up what her name is so we can say it. Okay, her name is Madison Tevlin, and she played Cosentino in the movie Champions.
Okay.
So follow the link. Check that out. And think of it in terms of your own child and what they should be encouraged or not encouraged to do.
That's right. And then 7 years ago, we talked about when people come to you for help, what do they need?
They need to go away is what they need.
I just thought this was a fun topic that we had. I definitely am still getting the, can you read this? Does this, proofread this? What can I get your opinion? Like a week ago, at least, my son was like, can you read this paper?
Whoa.
When it's ready, can you read this paper? And I said, yeah, sure, of course I can. And then nothing. And then at the end, like several hours later, I said, is it going to be tonight? Because I'm about to go to bed. And oh no, it won't be tonight. And I haven't heard a word about it since. So,
buddy, just mention it when you're done, because otherwise you're opening yourself to nagging.
Yeah. So now I just can't. I'm like, well, I certainly hope he's going to do it at some point. But I do think he told me a while ago that it wasn't due for a long time.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. My kids got to a place where they did not want to ask me to look at their stuff because I would make them change things.
Right.
And so it was just like, nope, it's done. It's fine. It's fine. It's good. Never mind. Go about your day.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
people don't come and ask me for help very much anymore.
Huh.
Yeah, I tie my daughter's apron. She comes to have me tie her apron behind her back, and that's about it.
Yeah, I get all the, the grammar and everything. Mm. I got my son filling out his absentee ballot, and we discussed what to do. And I'm always like, now I'm not telling you.
Yeah.
But I'm saying, this is who I'm voting for, and this is
we
why.
Do the same thing.
You can decide.
Look at the ballot. Yes, it's up to you, but...
Right.
This is just telling you who we're voting for. It's for your general edification.
Right, exactly.
You're on your own. So, but really, you should vote for these people.
Right, but really... Why wouldn't you do what I'm doing?
But you go ahead.
Right. My husband, when he writes thank you letters after job interviews, I get those to read. And well, and now like Gmail, I think, has like Grammarly or some kind of automatic checker built in, and he's like, he keeps telling me to put in these commas. I'm like, yes, it wants you to put in a serial comma, and you should listen.
Yes. The fact that there's still such debate about those commas makes me laugh. My philosophy on the serial comma is, if you don't use it, you have to think every time you see an and whether it's necessary or not.
Yeah. If
you use it, you just put it in. You
just put it in.
You just go about your day.
Yeah.
Why would you do something that makes extra work for you? Does the comma bother you that much that you want to stress it every single time?
Yeah.
It's an expediency thing is what it is. I don't care that much about commas. I will just pepper them in. Who cares? Yeah. Seriously.
And I do feel it.
There are people who feel otherwise.
I do feel it is clarifying.
Yes.
You know?
At best, it is clarifying, and at worst, it doesn't hurt anything.
Right. 3 cheers for the cereal comma. That's what you'll get.
We are a pro-cereal comma podcast. If you notice, whenever we speak, we will leave a pause where there would be
that
a cereal
is
comma.
A comma.
None of those pauses I just made were actually cereal commas. But
no. So that leads me to 8 years ago when we were talking about how we would treat yourself.
I treat myself with the liberal use of cereal
nice
commas.
Comma.
And the occasional little diatribe about them because people care.
Yes.
People care deeply.
Exactly.
I'm just lazy, is all I am. So I treat myself with a little laziness.
There you go.
Oh, what do you treat yourself with? I am back, by the way, to sitting on the couch. Lent is over.
Oh, that's right.
No sitting and falling asleep on the couch for me during Lent. I gave it up, and Easter Sunday, fell asleep on the couch.
That's
so
right.
Comfortable. It's so soft.
Back where you belong, huh?
It's a treat. It's a treat to sit there now.
Right.
And allow sleep to overcome me. It's a treat.
So sitting on the couch is a treat. Yes. Having your coffee station in your office.
Yes. Still a
allows
treat.
You to
It's delightful. Mm-hmm. I like it. Makes me want to stay in my office longer than I would otherwise. On the couch going, come on, do your work out here, Terry. Come on.
Right.
Come on, it'll be fun. You'll get it done.
See,
That won't make you immediately fall asleep. So it's keeping me here.
Right. That's a good...
I need to make one more cup in my little coffee maker. I enjoy it.
I don't know if you remember that back around Christmas time or before Christmas, there was a Walker Hayes video about a Christmas song.
Oh, yes. And it was Oat Nog.
And it was like sponsored by Oat Nog, or it was just like
prominent product placement.
Prominent product placement of Oat Nog. And I found some.
Yeah.
And I tried it, and it is very good.
Yeah.
It tastes pretty much like regular eggnog. Like it doesn't taste like it's made with, fake milk, which it is. But it is like so thick and rich that I could drink like a few tablespoons at a time. Like it's just, one of those things that you can't have much more. It's so I still have it. I bought it at Christmas time, and
oh my! So it doesn't go bad because it's not dairy, right?
It's still alive in my. I haven't, every once in a while I'll just be like, I'll have a little sip of oat nog.
A little shot glass full.
Exactly. I pretty much have it in a shot glass because that's about how much I can drink at one time. But it's kind of a fun little treat.
Yeah.
If you enjoy eggnog and...
Consider it less a beverage than a dessert.
It is. Yeah, I do actually. Like, it's good for that when you're sort of right at the end of the day and you're like, I need just a little something before I go to bed.
Yes.
You can have, we put it out for Santa in a shot glass.
Because Santa, he's got to stay light on his feet for the rest of the night.
He's busy. So, it was a little treat for Santa. It's a little treat for me.
Yeah.
It's probably not sold in stores anymore because it is Easter, not Christmas.
Yes.
And by the time you listen to this, it will be well past Easter.
Just make a note for yourself.
Yes.
To check it out.
Check it out next year.
In very small quantities next year.
I mean, they should sell it in like a pint instead of like a quart or however much it is.
But if it doesn't go bad, I guess it doesn't matter.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, I haven't checked it in a while. Maybe it's finally turned. I don't know.
Well, I'm still having my overnight oats once a week. The oats overnight is the product. Overnight oats is a generic item. Oats overnight is a product that you can buy. You get a pouch, you put it in the shaker, you put some milk in, you shake it up, and you leave it overnight. Yes. And it's in various distinctive flavors. And I mean, I can drink a whole shaker full of it.
Yeah.
But it's thick. And
yeah, I've been doing it too, like around
intensely flavorful in a way that sometimes is unpleasant. Right? Because it's like they've used not artificial things, but different flavor enhancers.
Uh-huh.
And it's good. It's my treat once a week. I have it.
Yes, I have it.
About the cost.
I have it on days where I have a very early shift at the library. It's good for that because I can make it the night before, drink it in the car on the way there. Mm-hmm. And I find filling enough to get me through. So
tasty and interesting to have different flavors.
Yes. And then you get emails every day about about what new flavors they're thinking about or selling.
They're sending us something called protein coffee. I'm a little scared of that.
Oh.
But okay. Can I use my little water heater to make it?
Yeah. Well, you have to report back.
Yes. Well, we hope that something that you treat yourself with is our delightful podcast. Mm-hmm. And we're not 25 hours long.
Nope.
Longer than we need to be, undoubtedly, but it's not like sitting down to listen to a 600-page book. So there's that.
Yeah.
And matter of fact, we're at the closing chapter now. That's it for the Parenting Roundabout Weekly Roundup. Next week, we will watch Reservation Dogs Season 3, House Made of Bongs, and Frankfurter Sandwich. You can find all our episodes on Spreaker, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, or wherever you get your podcasts. You can find recaps, links, and an opportunity to comment on our website at parentingroundabout.com. You can also talk to us on our Facebook page, on Instagram, or on Twitter, where you'll find us at Roundabout Chat. And please visit our Amazon shop at amazon.com/shop/momitude, where you can find links to a lot of the things we've talked about over the years. We'll see you back here next Tuesday. Goodbye, Catherine.
Bye, Terry.
Bye, everybody.